Does this mean Caitlin has to wear the black Air Force Ones the rest of the series?
I mean, they're working. So, yeah, we made the joke. She has to bring them in her bag, wear them every day.
Nothing could have prepared fans for the unexpected statement that Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull recently made, despite the basketball world's constant hype. Together, these three celebrities, each with a loyal fan base and an indisputable influence on the game, have disseminated news that is upending the WNBA as a whole. This is a game-changer that has the potential to permanently alter rivalries, careers, and the future of women's basketball. It's not just another headline. Let's examine what actually transpired. The Shock Alliance Hull, Cunningham, and Clark transformed the WNBA when three athletes entered the same practice facility on July 8, 2025. The conversation surrounding women's basketball was altered. Sophie Cunningham, a seasoned player renowned for her perseverance and unbiased perspective on the game, and Lexie Hull, a young, emerging talent eager to advance, met with Caitlin Clark, who gained national prominence with a breakout season. It was not a casual meeting at the Indiana Fever training facility. Whispers quickly became headlines as a result of what appeared to be a planned and premeditated action. The boundaries of rivalry were broken when Clark's enormous fan draw stood next to Cunningham's steady voice and Hull's newfound promise. Due to contracts, team allegiance, and competition, players frequently keep their distance. Instead, these three decided to demonstrate unity. Fans, teammates, and league leaders were forced to pay attention when that decision sliced through the clutter. It seemed like the first part of something bigger. The league is at a unique crossroads, thus the moment is crucial. Compared to previous years, the WNBA has increased sponsorship interest, TV ratings, and attendance. Deep problems still exist, including remuneration that is below that of men's sports, careers that end too soon, and an economic model that frequently forces players to work abroad in order to make ends meet. Clark attracts a lot of attention and new viewers. Cunningham offers years of expertise and useful insights gained during difficult seasons. The next generation of players, who require time, encouragement, and clear pathways, are represented by Hull. When taken as a whole, the three have an impact that is difficult to deny. United, they might advocate for contracts that safeguard players beyond fleeting moments of celebrity, safer health regulations, and more transparent pay scales. To enable players to continue playing beyond retirement, they can advocate for league-backed initiatives, improved insurance, financial training, off-season assistance, and coaching pipelines. The message is straightforward: long careers and genuine protection are what the sport deserves, not fleeting headlines. Fans responded loudly and quickly. Social media feeds lit up, stadiums filled, and regular supporters started calling for substantive change. Players felt suddenly supported by a public prepared to demand change. Community organizations and youth initiatives spread the call throughout cities and small villages, transforming local rumors into national pressure that business owners could no longer ignore. Serious business discussions are going on behind the scenes. The agenda for collective bargaining, broadcast rights, and expansion ambitions are all at stake. The distribution of funds and the terms that are negotiable can be altered by a coordinated player voice in these discussions. Networks and owners pay different attention when a few prominent players come forward together. Budgets and priorities can be changed by this combined leverage. Like every memo, the symbolism is important. Young girls who see Clark set records will now realize that power can be gained off the court through celebrity. Experienced players realize that it could be safer to speak up with allies. Sponsors perceive a movement that is stable enough to make long-term investments rather than short-term ones. One-time campaigns might give way to multi-year agreements that fund player development, community initiatives, and secure careers. Beneath the conversation lies a personal reality as well. Better assistance translates into safer decisions and healthier lives for athletes who balance international seasons, family obligations, or injury rehabilitation. More stability gives rookies more time to grow. Stronger mechanisms provide retiring athletes with healthcare, pensions, and coaching opportunities that recognize their years of sacrifice. Thus, it appeared like they were beginning something greater than a single declaration when those three departed the training site together. To discover out, keep watching. WNBA stars join forces for equality. Excitement is in the air as the 2025 WNBA season draws near. This time, however, it's not just about whose team leads the standings or who scores the most points. Something more profound is taking place off the field, a quiet but powerful energy that has the potential to upend women's basketball as a whole. It's not about a highlight reel dunk or a buzzer-beater victory. A strong coalition committed to addressing the issues that have long been ignored is responsible for this surge of change. Inside the Indiana Fever training facility on July 8, Caitlin Clark, Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham met in what appeared to be a planned action rather than a chance encounter. Insider rumors indicate that their goal is to change the league's future rather than developing a new playbook or game plan. They are focused on fair compensation, which is one of the most contentious topics in women's sports. The WNBA has received media attention, sponsorships, and TV appearances for many years. However, players continue to struggle with pay that hardly adequately compensates them for their contributions. The salaries of male athletes in comparable positions are far more than those of even the biggest stars. The league's open secret has been this division. However, the period of silence might be coming to an end if the appropriate voices take the lead. The story changed when Clark joined the league in 2024. Millions of people watched from home, arenas were packed, and ticket sales skyrocketed from her very first games. At this early stage of her success, merchandise bearing her name shot off the shelves, breaking records nobody had anticipated. She quickly rose to prominence as the league's top earner and developed a strong personal brand. However, she is still constrained by wage regulations that cap her earnings much below her value, even if she makes more money than many franchises alone. Her enormous social media following, which surpasses that of certain NBA players, only enhances her capacity to raise awareness of the issue. Then there is Sophie Cunningham, a reliable veteran who has accumulated credibility and grit during several seasons in the WNBA and abroad. She has personal experience with the challenges of off-season contracts, the dangers of injury without complete security, and the sacrifices required to maintain a high level of performance. Cunningham's viewpoint adds significance by demonstrating that the problem is about sustainability for all players, not simply rookies or rising stars. With her early promise and Stanford education, Lexie Hull is a symbol of the next generation. She speaks for the new generation of athletes who aspire to long careers but are concerned about whether the system will let them. Her participation shows that this is a call from people of various ages and backgrounds, not simply those who are already well established. Clark, Cunningham, and Hull come together to establish a coalition that seems both strategic and symbolic. In addition to drawing attention to unequal pay, they also allude to more extensive changes, improved working conditions, health-protecting regulations, and systems that ensure players receive equitable treatment from the time of their draft selection until their retirement. They have impeccable timing. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented expansion, drawing in more corporate funding and new viewers. Now is the perfect time for gamers to use their united power to effect change. The fact that it's not only about money makes this even more remarkable. It's about redefining the unwritten rules of women's sports as well as identification and acknowledgement. These three athletes are demonstrating that influence in the contemporary era extends well beyond the court. Boardrooms, discussions, and even culture itself are all affected. Together, they have the potential to change the league's revenue model for years to come. What might have been the driving elements behind the WNBA's decision to finally consider its future? The story is just getting started, so stay close. The movement's purpose, a deeper story that transcends baskets, highlights, and record-breaking rookie records, begins to emerge as the spotlight becomes brighter on Caitlin Clark's every move. Her presence has changed the WNBA's entire financial model in addition to packing arenas and increasing TV viewership. The more important question today is how Clark will utilize her unparalleled power to advance the game for all players on the court, not just herself. Whispers in Indiana are getting louder behind the scenes. Not all of Clark's priorities are trophies, sponsorships, or personal achievements. According to insiders, she has been meeting with Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, starting a dialogue that might lead to something much bigger than individual success. Together, These three represent a new form of power in the WNBA that is based on unity and purpose rather than rivalries or team colors. Clark is well known outside of the basketball court. Her likeness appears on stuff that is flying off stores, her games dominate national broadcasts, and her social media following matches professional athletes in much larger leagues. Few women's basketball players have ever had such power, and she appears to be well aware of the responsibility that comes with her position. Her message is very clear: success is a doorway rather than merely a destination. Sophie Cunningham, on the other hand, offers tenacity, fortitude, and the viewpoint of an experienced veteran who has successfully negotiated the challenging realities of the league. She has undergone difficult off-season spells overseas to maintain financial stability, played under antiquated systems that impeded advancement, and been frustrated by paychecks that didn't reflect her hard work. Cunningham is more than simply a player. She is a survivor of the WNBA's difficult times. Despite these obstacles, she has significantly improved the league's